Hey guys! Today we have another epic 40-40 battle. 40 Augmentation Evoker against 40 Elemental Shaman. People's assumptions are shown here, and the rules are the usual. Stay in the center, best out of 5, and no resurrecting during an active round. So let's go. And the first round goes Augmentation Evoker, with 26 people still standing. The Evokers played well. They waited for us to approach, and then they created a line of sight wall thanks to Divide and Conquer. Then they opened hard with their Breath of Aeons, and annihilated most of the Shamans. This initial lead, as well as the line of sight disruption they got, was enough for Evokers to keep up the pressure all the way through, and claim the first round. Let us see if Shamans can figure out a strategy for round 2. Once more, Augmentation were victorious, with 24 people standing at the end. Like always, the Evokers pushed in hard at the start, but Shamans were able to partly counter them thanks to Burrow, to avoid the damage taken from Deep Breath. However, the Shamans were still kinda disorganized. The Evokers on the other hand were moving in groups, aggressively staying on top of the Shamans and killing them off. Augmentation is quite a weird spec. It is a DPS spec, right? But it's also support. It's tankier than Shamans, it has good healing thanks to Emerald Blossom, and also a lot of DPS boosting abilities, such as Ebon Might. Which is a reason they're able to win this. Anyway, let's move on to run 3, and see if Shamans are able to turn this around somehow. Interesting. Shamans won this one, with 26 people standing. That's similar to Evokers a few rounds ago. A lot of Shamans stayed mounted at the start, and avoided the initial Breath of the Aeons. This put Shamans in a really strong position, since they outranged the line of sight walls and could wait it out. And then they were ready to blast the Evokers with lightning. Still, the Augmentation had the initial lead, and the momentum, but then all of a sudden they started to retreat. This kinda doomed them, since the baseline, Augmentation only has 25 yard range on the abilities, while Elemental has 40. So retreating pretty much delayed their death and gave Shamans free pressure. Which they also pointed out in the chat. Anyway, on to round 4. The Evokers just need one more win to secure victory. Okay, Shamans won again with 18 people standing. Once again, it feels like Augmentations were giving Shamans way more distance than they should have. When the score was even, instead of pushing forward and getting closer to melee range, the Augmentation stayed at a distance, and then the tide started to turn against them. The Shamans did play it really well though. They kept Augmentation using the dead zone, thanks to Capacitate Totem for stuns, and Earthgrab Totem for roots. Perhaps if some of them had saved Breath of the Aeon to the late game, they would have an easier time getting closer to Shamans, instead of most of them using it at the start. Well, the score is 2-2, which means a final battle. Can Shamans succeed in the reverse sweep? That's it guys, Shamans won with 33 people standing. If you wanna know something a bit sad, we did have one additional round, just in case I noticed any cheating during the Shaman victories. Since then I want to have one final battle as a backup. This time the Evokers actually adapted. They split the group in two to flank the Shamans, and as you can see in the chat, they were way more aggressive. They stayed on top of the Shamans, stopped casting and so on. And the battle was mostly even. But sadly, Evokers started with only 37 people, since 2 had to leave and 1 disconnected. So at the end, the Shamans won this one too, with 19 people standing. But I definitely think Augmentation could have won it during the former rounds, with a tiny change of strategy. Anyway, with Elemental doing a reverse sweep, they'll move forward in the tournament. And Midnight is releasing very soon guys, so I cannot tell you when the next matchup will be. We'll take a month's break or so to level and do other videos while waiting. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll stay tuned for more. Bye bye!
Good shit.
That was insanely even. I mean, it was
that was really nice.
Back and forth. That was the best one so far of all the ones we've done.
Yeah, that was fun too, actually.
It was, right?
That felt like actual WoW balance. Yeah.
Yeah, like a
not too much damage, not too much healing.